Duraplank takes Congolium's Duraceramic product line into a new category, wood. With impressive wood designs and the unique features and benefits of Duraceramic's product construction, Duraplank offers a high-performing and affordable alternative to wood and laminate flooring. And because it resists moisture, it can be installed in areas of the home where wood and laminate floors are not recommended. Duraplank is also quick and easy to install. Let's take a look at the steps for a successful installation, starting with some general installation requirements. Familiarize yourself with all of the correct installation procedures by carefully reading the detailed instructions found in the carton insert and in the Duraceramic Installation and Technical Guide. Always store and transport the cartons on a flat surface so that they don't become distorted. Acclimate the job site, the Duraplank, and the adhesive at a temperature between 65 degrees and 85 degrees Fahrenheit for 48 hours prior to, during, and 48 hours after installation. Always use Congolium DS100 adhesive for Duraplank installations. Install Duraplank with the directional arrows printed on the back of the planks running in the same direction. Duraplank may be installed directly over dry concrete subfloors on all grade levels, suspended wood, certain existing resilient floors, ceramic tile, and terrazzo. The subfloor must be flat. The variation cannot be greater than 3/16 inch across 10 feet. Check the surface with a straight edge and fill low spots with a Portland cement-based patching compound. Sand wood underlayment joints level and patch gaps wider than 1/32 inch or the thickness of a credit card. Better yet, install Duraplank over Congolium's underfloor, the floating underlayment system specifically designed for Duraplank and Duraceramic. Undercut door casings when possible to get a great-looking finish. When all of the prep work is complete, you can begin the layout.
Today we're going to be installing Duraplank and Duraceramic in a custom flooring installation. Detail for the layout on that is a little bit more involved. If I were installing Duraplank alone in a room, the installation layout is very simple. Basically, I'd start with a center line, a chalk line down the center of the room, and determine the size of my planks at the perimeter or the edge of the room. What I want to do is to complete a dry layout from the center line out towards the wall, and then take a look and see the size of the last piece as it meets up to the wall. If it's less than 1/2 of a plank width, I'll simply adjust my center line 2 1/4 inches or 1/2 of a plank width, and that'll give me a nice full piece on all sides, on both sides of the wall. As a general rule, you want to install Duraplank with the long dimension of the plank running parallel with the long dimension of the room. We're doing a custom installation of Duraplank and Duraceramic in combination. We'll do an inset in the center of the room where the table will sit, and we'll surround that by a border of Duraplank approximately 3 foot wide.
After we establish the center line of the room in both length and width directions, we can lay out and mark the inset area, adjusting it if necessary to make sure there are no small plank pieces along the wall. You can easily check your marks by doing a dry layout with the product. Once the layout is complete, you can begin to spread the adhesive.
Nice thing about underfloor is that the chalk lines stay right on the surface of the underfloor, even under the adhesive film. The adhesive will dry almost to a transparent clear, so it's real easy to see the chalk lines below. When you're spreading the adhesive, you want to make sure that you don't spread the adhesive beyond the edge of the underfloor. You want to make sure of that because if you get adhesive there, you could pin it, and it will no longer be a floating floor. When you're installing the plank into a pressure-sensitive adhesive, once it's laid in there, you don't have a lot of opportunity to adjust it. So by doing a dry layout, I've got some of my basic pieces cut, and I'm ready to start the installation. Remember, just like Duraceramic, same system, check the adhesive to make sure that it's tacky dry, and you're then ready to start to set the plank. I'm going to start right here into the corner, and remember, we're going to be laying this out so that we have basically plank bordering the inset. So I'm going to come straight down off of my chalk line right here. And I've laid this out in such a way that I know as I go down the entire length of the inset that I'm not going to end up with a short piece. So this is balanced out very nicely. So I'll start this like this to the corner, and then we'll start to work the Duraceramic right in, just laying that into place. This is basically the same size as what the Duraceramic is, so I'll just lay it right in here. And on a layout of this nature, what you're going to find is that you end up with a basket weave, so it's an over or under. Watch what happens here. Just continue right through here. And now I'm going to come back in with another piece of plank, and we'll lay that right across here. By doing the dry layout first, everything falls into place real quick. If I have a piece of plank or tile and I'm going to fit it, I don't know the distance that I want to go out. One thing that I can do is put a couple small spacers down, and this will keep the plank out of the adhesive. So if I'm laying this in here and I want to adjust it, just simply by laying it on that, it minimizes the contact and allows me to pull it out very, very easy. So as I go through here to make sure that I'm straight, I'll just use a spacer there. Obviously you want to make sure you take that out before you finish the floor. We're now ready to start the border, and a couple things that we want to go over here before we start it is, one, we're going to be laying this in a stair-step fashion, so I want to lay a couple planks out coming down the strip, and this will help me to make certain that I don't end up with real small pieces at the opposite end. Secondly, I want to make sure that my joints are offsetting, so as you can see here, I've got a joint at this point. When I put this plank into place, it's going to offset that and it'll look real natural. Arrows pointing in the same direction with all the planks, so let's just go ahead and we'll get started with it. I'll lay this in right to the corner of the plank that's in place. As I get it into position, I'm going to press down on it. I pre-cut a piece to fit here. And again, the nice thing about this is that you can come back in and create a factory edge by taking and just rolling that to put the micro bevel back on it again. To finish the border off, the last piece at the wall here, what I'll do is lay a series of planks out directly over top of the last whole plank, so they're precisely along that edge. And then I'll use another plank to determine the distance, and we'll trim the straight walls this way. Anytime I have a floating flooring installation, I have to allow for expansion and contraction, so I'm allowing a 1/4 inch space around the entire perimeter. So I'm just going to keep this off the edge a little bit, and now I'll come back in and score my planks. After I've taken and scored the plank, I'm just going to flex it directly over top of the score mark, and then we can lay that right into place. You can see the 1/4 inch space that we've left there so that the floor will float. Now to finish the installation off, I want to apply trim around the perimeter, shoe molding, and I'm going to nail that directly into the baseboard so it allows the floor to float as opposed to nailing down into the floor itself. So that's going to finish this off real nice. Boy, this is beautiful. It really turned out nice.
When the installation is complete, roll the entire floor with a 100-pound roller. In a Duraplank only installation, do not use DS200 joint sealer. We do not recommend that you grout Duraplank, but a great feature of Duraplank is that you can use it in combination with grouted Duraceramic and finish the joint between the two with grout. Finish the job by installing the base moldings, and be sure to use hardboard runways when moving furniture or appliances across the floor. Repairs are very simple over underfloor installations. To replace a damaged Duraplank, first warm the plank with a heat gun. Using a sharp utility knife, cut through a corner of the plank, taking care not to cut into the underfloor. Lift the end of the plank and continue heating. As you provide sufficient heat, the plank releases from the adhesive. Lift out the entire plank and warm the exposed adhesive. Install the new plank. Set it firmly into place with a hand roller. Here you have a perfect repair. Create a beautiful wood floor installation or design and install a custom job that will look fantastic. Duraplank, another great addition to the Dura product category.